While Modern Warfare has some great elements to it, there are a few drawbacks that I wanted to discuss, some personal problems that I have with the game, and things that I wish were changed. Primarily, I want the game to stop using hit markers for grenade launchers. I don't know when this became a thing, but earlier in the year, way earlier in the year of 2019, they decided that, the game was going to be catered towards noobs, and I understand preventing people overusing the noob tubes and all the rocket launchers and shit, but the challenges are very, very difficult to complete, and they take a lot of time to complete. Now, I've completed every single challenge for every other weapon in the game, every weapon class I've done, but the rocket launchers are giving me some serious problems, and I wish that they would get a buff, at least a little bit, to improve damage when it comes to targeting enemies. Enemies will take ridiculous amounts of hit markers before they are actually killed when using some rocket launchers such as the Pila or the Strela, and I think that these weapons are very good weapons, and I think that they should be used primarily for kill streaks. If they're not going to buff them, I think they should change the challenges to something a little bit more easier to complete. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't take time or it shouldn't take skill, but I do think that having to take out, ground-based kill streaks, I think it's like 75 of them, and aerial kill streaks when people aren't really using kill streaks currently, I don't think that that is necessarily a good challenge for that. I would also like to see the quick draw perk added into the game, and I'd like to see Ghost, at least nerfed just a little bit. I understand where people are coming from at this point. I know it's really, really late and I'm late to the party, but Ghost really needs to be improved in one particular regard. The minimap already is pretty much non-existent. It's very much useless at this point, except for identifying, where your team is. And, with Ghost, it just makes it 10 times harder, especially with the compass. And, this is a very camp-heavy game, as most people know. And I think that, Ghost is kind of making that problem a little bit worse, especially, when people are working on the challenges at this point, because there's not much excitement and not many different weapons to use. A lot of the DLC weapons are pretty much the same as previous weapons that were in the base game. And I feel like, those things need to change too, especially with the new weapons like the ISO and the AN94. I think that the AN94 needs to be fully auto, but I'm sure there's a fully auto attachment coming out for it. But I feel like, Modern Warfare is just becoming more of the same as far as Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 was concerned, with the remade maps and things like that. I'm not really into that. I've never really been into that, and I feel like, that needs to be changed as well. With, Modern Warfare has a lot of good elements, as I said, but I feel like they focused way too much on attachments and the appearance of being tactical rather than actually being tactical, and I don't like that. I feel like, those attachments are kind of useless at this point, because some of the attachments are just useless in this game, and many of you know that. I also think that, there's no attachments for the rocket launchers, really. Like, there isn't a lock-on sight, maybe a quick draw, maybe some stippled grip tape to improve it. I feel like, they need to stop trying to focus on appearing tactical and actually be tactical. They also don't really use night modes too much in this game, and I would like a, more night mode playlists within this game, because that was something that was heavily, just expressed within the trailer, and I feel like that is something that we definitely need. I also feel like, that Modern Warfare has become stagnant in one particular regard. There have been so many remade maps, and I'm gonna keep going on this issue until it's finally addressed, and that is the fact that these maps are consistently remade from old Call of Duties. Like, I remember on the last video that I made, I was talking about Soldal Harbor and how that was, a completely original map. It turns out it's not. It's actually a map from Call of Duty 2, and I feel like I was more or less betrayed in that particular regard. I feel like, this is ridiculous, and I feel like, they're not using too much influence from the campaign. Certain locations like Azure Cave is outside of Urzikstan, but they're just not doing it correctly, in my opinion, and I feel like this needs to be addressed. So these are the things that I want to see changed within the next year of Modern Warfare. I'm sure within the second year we'll improve to a stable, consistent amount of fun for me, but at the same time, guys, I feel like, it's kind of too little too late for this game, especially with COD 2020 being delayed. We also have some new information on that, but I'll get to that after this. I feel like Modern Warfare definitely needs to improve, especially with the weapon balances, the launcher balances, the perks, and the attachments. Reduce the number of attachments to add some more perks, and that's what I think should be done ultimately. But as far as COD 2020 is concerned, a bunch of YouTubers have received crates that say on them, do not open until August 10th. And I'm sorry about the plane in the background, but there's nothing I can do about that. Now, these crates will be open on August 10th, but I feel like a lot of YouTubers are actually going to go and, open them beforehand, and they're going to just put them out, put all that information out there before they're supposed to, and it's going to be kind of ruined. But I do feel like, that's necessary at this point. I do suspect some YouTubers are actually going to open these crates and reveal everything in them, because we're getting sick of waiting for this marketing material, especially with the marketing on Doritos. We need to see what COD 2020 is to give us some kind of hope as far as the game is concerned. It's very, very important. So that's all the information I have for you on COD 2020, and those are my complaints about Modern Warfare recently. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. This is Hades Gaming, signing off. Have a good one, guys.